100 grams.
I'm Darren, aka Nola Plug. I own Nolazine and a few other media companies, and I'm a part of a lot of different things.
All right, dope. So, start to just tell us about your upbringing. Well, where are you from in New Orleans?
I'm from Algiers, but a lot of people kind of recognize me from like Marrero all the way on up. I've been everywhere. Like a person that, I got family in like a lot of different neighborhoods who I roamed everywhere.
So you're from Algiers. All right, cool. Did you, how was your family like? Did you grow up with your mom and dad, or you had a lot of siblings?
I grew up with mom and dad. It was good for the beginning.
All right, so I mean, how was that? How did that impact you? I know a lot of people, you know, some people feel like they have an advantage by having both parents growing up versus not. So how did you feel? Do you feel like that advantage, or does it really matter at all?
It's a good and a bad thing on mine, because I had those type of families that actually, they were violent to each other and just different things. But it actually helped me, like, actually move as one, I'm like adult.
Right.
It made me know actually what not to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you basically learn from others.
I learned from their mistakes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, what high school did you go to?
Man, I went to a fake private school. It was called Metro Outreach. I was a bad child, man. So, yeah, I actually paid my way to get out of high school.
You paid your way to get out?
Damn near, yeah.
So, but you got through it?
I got through.
You got through it?
Badly, but I got through.
And what about college? Did you go to college afterwards?
Nah.
You just went into
it was New Orleans world. Yeah.
So tell us about that. What was your transition from high school to getting yourself, you gotta make money somehow, you gotta do, like, what did you wind up doing?
I went to the streets until I always told my mama if the first time I ever get caught, I was gonna quit and do something else. So actually when I got caught, this guy from Cross Canal, I'm like Fat Mayweather, he was just getting on, like, promoting. And I was just catching my charge. And he was like, man, I give you $50 a week to promote Envy.
Right.
And from there, I just learned how to become a promoter. Then from a promoter, learned how to become one, I'm like business marketer.
Right.
Then I just started doing different things. And while that process, I was becoming known.
Okay, so how was that life as far as, promoting? I know it could be a very hard thing to kind of, get into and then really be successful at, right?
Right.
So what is your take on that? Do you feel like it's just something that's, anybody can kind of get into it? You got to be a certain type of person to even want to do that.
Anybody could get into it, but it's about, like, just in anybody's business, it's about relationships. It's like, who could last the longest, who could get certain deals, who could get certain venues. It all plays a factor.
Okay. So what got you? You say that kind of got you into, realizing about marketing and media. So what really got you into?
Because you got to get people into a club. So it's the same way as like you getting a person to buy something from your business and different things like that.
Okay. So tell us about Nolazine. You mentioned it.
Nolazine. So Nolazine, I started Nolazine 10 years ago. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I just had the name. So maybe 2017, I saw Say Cheese. He was doing it. He was doing like something like promoting artists, doing interviews. So, and I had a conversation with him. I'm at a Saints game. He told me what to do, and I just took Nolazine to change the name to like Nolazine on TV. Mm-hmm. Then I just started, like, ever since I started Nolazine TV, it been up. Like, artists from around the world been reaching out. I've been getting paid from the start. So yeah, but at first I was just still trying to figure it out.
Okay, so you said, you 10 years in the game, you've been doing a name.
I'm not 10 years, I'm 10 years of having a name.
10 years of having a name?
I'm 2008, like I started my YouTube channel in 2018. I didn't drop my first interview until 2019. So the reason I didn't drop my interview until 2019 because I had one, I'm like speech problem. I was like, man, I was really looking for people to do the interviews for me. Cause I don't want to do no interview. So it took me a whole year to build confidence to do interviews. Like even when I first started, like on the interviews, you would see, if you see my face with the, I'm like words going across, like asking a question.
Right.
Like I was like very timid of doing it. So yeah, like.
But that's a, for you to even state that, like that's crazy because you got over it.
Right.
So what got you to the point to even get through that and move forward with still being as you are today. I'm still doing the interviews.
Right. Well, shout out OG Boobie Black. He kept teaching me when I was doing the interview. He like, yeah, he be stuttering when we doing interviews. I'm trying to do interviews. He like, man, don't worry about it. You got a little stutter. I'm like, so it just motivated me. Like, I gotta speak a little better when I'm doing these interviews. Because I'm like, I don't want to just be one. I don't want to be a brand just for New Orleans. I want to travel the world. So like everybody not gonna know me for stuttering and all that. So I have to have, I have to speak a little better, more proper, because everybody, well, others in like multiple cities don't understand actually what we be saying in New Orleans. So you gotta talk a little bit better.
Right. Nah, I mean, to me that's something that's great to be able to say that you are a person that interviews people, but knowing that you have,
speech problem,
had that issue.
Right.
So that confidence is very inspirational for people to understand that you do anything whenever you can. So, tell us a little bit more about the milestones that you've gotten through Nolazine, like all the people that you kind of interviewed that are notarized.
I'm like the real Rick Ross, Trey the Truth. One of the people I would say people would know. NBA Youngboy Mama, damn everybody. I'm like everybody around him besides him.
Right.
A few people. I've been interviewing, and like a lot of people know a lot of people know what Nolazine is.
Right.
I'm gonna say that.
Right. Man, and that's what I'm saying, man. That's just an amazing thing to be able to do that. And you say you want to find somebody else, and you still wind up going to do that. So, tell us a little bit about what you feel like what makes New Orleans New Orleans.
What makes New Orleans New Orleans? We are like no other. During the pandemic, I went to like 30 different cities, and like everybody be like, man, I'm ready to move from New Orleans, but it actually like make you miss New Orleans when you go to all the different, like the food suck.
Right.
It's like certain cities, people rude. They don't speak to you, ain't letting you know what's going on or nothing.
Right.
So like New Orleans, just if you from here, but you found some love in here. But you also got, the other stuff like that. It's very dangerous to live in New Orleans.
Right.
But like it's just nowhere. It's like nowhere in the world like New Orleans. Like for slum wise, the closest place I saw close to New Orleans is like Detroit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, I agree, man. So another question I have for you is, what keeps you inspired to keep doing the things that you do?
Man, watching all the things that I'm like XXL. And I'm XXL, I'm like the Source and other people who like had media companies just accomplished over the years. I'm like, dang, but I'm really like 4 years in to really just doing this media full in, and it's been working. It's been working. Like I got people paying me way from fucking Hawaii. I'm like, how you even found out about Nolazine, a company that started in New Orleans? So it's real.
So what would you tell somebody that would want to, what advice would you give somebody that would want to start a media company like that?
Man, don't listen to nobody. Do what you feel. And also, don't let nobody put you in a bubble. And also don't make, like, especially dealing with music artists from a certain city, but don't let them make you choose sides. Because if you choose sides, you're going to be stuck on that side.
So being biased about...
Yeah, you being biased. You're showing favoritism, but people gonna say, but you're showing favoritism anyway. But the thing is, don't let them make you feel like you gotta stand on your business.
Gotcha. So I also see you a lot around the Loyalty Club.
Yeah, shout out to them, shout out to Blizzard, Jared, everybody around.
Yeah, so it's that seems like a great affiliation. Tell us about your relationship with them and how you guys are growing as well.
Well, our relationship grew after me going to interview them, and it just been on since then. They gave me a chain. I'm just want to help their brand, and they want to see my brand get bigger. So they got fourth quarter coming up. I'll make sure every celebrity around the world has a Loyalty Club.
Good. All right. Big question that we try to ask a lot of people to see if they could, give us something. What is an experience that you've had in New Orleans that can't happen nowhere else?
That's very interesting. I did a lot of stuff that people would never believe. Like how we so close to doing each other, like how our buildings are so close to each other and different things like that. Like Like you can go from one I'm like regular party to walking up the street and being at a whole I'm like swinger club.
Right.
It's just like then you leave the swing club and go to strip club in all walking distance.
Right.
So it's like it's like every other city you gotta catch an Uber, drive. It's bigger. Like New Orleans just like if you know what's going on, you're gonna have fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you tell your younger self with everything that you know? What advice would you give your younger self on the youth in general?
To never sell drugs. To never become a convicted felon. That's my biggest regret ever. Becoming a convicted felon.
So tell everybody where to find you, where to find Nolazine, and what you got coming up next as well.
Okay. You can find me at Nola Plug or at Darren Ogden. I own all that. And DarrenOgden.com. But I got Nolazine.com. I can tell you my other media company. Shout out Loyalty Club. Shout out Only New Orleans. And I got a new. But I have one new segment on Nolazine called What's Your Story? Where we interviewing everyone. Because for years, everybody was mad because I was only interviewing rappers. Now I'm interviewing crackheads, prostitutes, pimps, you name it, we interviewing them.
So appreciate you for coming on.
Only in New Orleans.